Okay, to the second part, we have George and Amy now going for a walk through the valley of vectors. And we have this, now we have an m that's been introduced, a parameter, and I have a domain for m, -6 to 6. Find the values of m that give each girls the same distance. Well, OA magnitude will be the square root of m squared plus 9 plus 1 plus 10. And OG magnitude will be the square root of 16 plus 25 plus 4, which will be root 45, which equals 3 root 5. So for the same distance, therefore, the square root of m squared plus 10 equals 3 root 5, and that tells me that it's plus or minus root 35. And both of those fit within the domain, so I'll accept both of those answers. Part E says Amy walks half the distance that George does. So if I've got the magnitude of Amy and the magnitude of George, they're not equal because Amy walks half the distance that George, so I need to multiply Amy by 2 to equal the same distance as George. So 2 lots of m squared minus 10 plus 10 equals 3 root 5, and that tells me that m should equal plus or minus root 5 on 2. So they're my two answers for D and E. Find the values of m such that they have perpendicular paths to each other. Therefore, OA dot OG has to equal 0. So 0 equals OA times OG. So I've got m times 4, so 4m. 3 times 5 is minus 15, and 1 times 2 is plus 2, so it's 4m minus 13. M equals 13 on 4, and that's within the domain for the girls to walk perpendicular. Okay. Find the values of m that the angle between the pairs is an obtuse angle. I've got OA and OG. And if this is acute, therefore the cos of theta will be positive. If it is obtuse, the cos of theta is going to be negative. Therefore, if I'm going to use cos is going to be OA dot OG over the magnitude of OA, the magnitude of OG. And for this to be negative, well, the bottom won't be negative because magnitudes are positive. Therefore, I'm looking for when the dot product, OA dot OG, is less than 0. So my dot product is 4m minus 13 is less than 0. Therefore, I'm looking for m less than 13 on 4, but the lowest value is -6 because of my restricted domain. So that's going to give me obtuse. And that's it.